All right, let's jump right into it. Today, we are taking you on a high-octane, cinematic tour of Sydney's most iconic playground. As your travel directors for this explainer, we're going to capture the joy, the pure thrills, and the historically rich essence of what is truly a global landmark. We are completely skipping the standard tourist itinerary today because I want to pull you straight through the gaping grin of an absolute Sydney legend for a day-to-night adventure. Seriously, ask yourself, where else on Earth can you plunge at breakneck speeds while staring down one of the most famous waterfronts in the world? There's really only one place, and we're going to explore every inch of it. Picture this. You're swooping in right at golden hour. The iconic, grinning face of Luna Park, which has been there since 1935, by the way, just pops against that sparkling blue harbor and the towering city skyline. It's an energy that draws you in, following families, thrill seekers, and tourists right into that massive, smiling mouth. This view has been enchanting generations, and it sets the stage perfectly for the world we're about to enter. And, there's a quote from the park's own conservation management plan that really hits the nail on the head. It calls it architecture of showmanship. This isn't just an amusement park. It's an immersive Art Deco fantasy world built to make you completely forget the world outside. The moment you step foot inside, the modern world just falls away, and you're surrounded by spectacular illusions. Back in 1935, designer Rupert Brown had this genius idea. He basically took the classic carnival vibe of the Luna Park face down in Melbourne and smashed it together with the towering, world-class Art Deco ambition of New York's Chrysler Building. Those 36-meter-high scallop spires flanking the face, that is pure 1930s Manhattan, towering right over Sydney Harbour. Okay, moving on to Section 1, main attraction thrills. We're talking engineering adrenaline. So imagine slamming back into a race car-themed seat and just getting launched. The Big Dipper is an absolute beast. It's actually the world's first double-launch single-rail coaster, and it's a masterpiece of adrenaline. You hit a rolling first launch, catch some incredible airtime, and fly through this iconic, non-inverting loop. And here is the kicker, the speed. You are hitting a blistering 72 kilometers per hour. To put that into perspective, tearing through a stangle dive and a sidewinder inversion at that speed, especially on a coaster packed into such a compact footprint, is an absolutely staggering feat of precision engineering. But hey, the adrenaline definitely doesn't stop there. We're talking heavy, intense G-forces that literally pin you down. Take the sledgehammer. It's full swing fury, spinning and dropping you all at once. Or the legendary rotor. This thing was designed in the late 1940s. You step into this massive upright barrel hitting 32 revolutions per minute, pulling almost 3 Gs of centrifugal force, and then, bam, the floor miraculously drops away right from under your feet. Now, let's step away from the modern steel for a sec and talk about a true survivor, the Wild Mouse. This is a rare, gravity-fed coaster from 1962, one of only 3 still operating in the world. It runs on a quarter-mile of laminated Oregon timber track. And let me tell you, when you hit those abrupt negative Gs and totally flat 180-degree turns, you genuinely feel like you might just fly right off the track and into the harbor. It is vintage terror at its finest. Okay, let's catch our breath. Imagine a smooth drone shot rising 40 meters into the air on the Ferris wheel. Every single carriage gives you this unbeatable, sweeping panorama of the Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. It is the perfect visual palate cleanser. Which brings us to Section 2, Carnival Life and Twilight. The magic of the Midway. It's amazing how this place blends the past and the present. On one hand, you've got the rich, energetic history of the 1930s Midway crowds packing in for a bathing beauty contest. And then, standing strong today, you have the beautifully preserved Moorish architecture of Coney Island, also known as Funnyland, which is still hosting vintage sideshow games and wooden slides right now. It is literally a living time capsule. And right in the middle of all that action is the Midway. It's the pulsing artery of the park. They actually designed it so no attraction sticks out into it, keeping it this clear central spine. It's where the smell of grilling hot dogs mixes with spinning fairy floss, street theater, and the endless laughter of the crowd. It's a street, a forum, a pizza, and a stage all rolled into one. Then the sun dips. Suddenly, thousands of lights flicker on, completely transforming the Midway into this glowing, magical wonderland. The park uses light to create an entirely different, almost dreamlike atmosphere the second the sun goes down. Next up, Section 3, the surrounding neighborhood, a Milsons Point detour. You know, what's really fascinating is that this super vibrant leisure spot started out as something entirely utilitarian. Back in the late 19th century, Milsons Point was actually the busiest ferry transport interchange on the harbor outside of Circular Quay, connecting ferries, trains, and trams. Today, it's a scenic hub full of outdoor dining, bustling wharves, and heritage-listed charm. So if you ever need a quick break from the flashing lights, there's an incredible walking itinerary right outside the gates. You can grab lunch and chill on the immaculate lawns of lavender green overlooking the water. Then take a quick 2-minute scenic stroll along the Lavender Bay boardwalk. And you absolutely have to get lost in the labyrinth of zigzagging stairs and whimsical sculptures of Wendy's secret garden before heading right back into the action. All right, final stop, Section 4, a luminous harbor spectacle, the nighttime legacy. After dark, the park just takes on this entirely second life. The modern LED lighting on the Great Face, combined with the spinning, illuminated rides, creates this electric, ever-changing injection of color right onto the North Shore skyline. The visual contrast against the dark waters of the harbor is just stunning. And this brings us to Luna Park's true architectural purpose. Heritage documents actually describe it as the sole landmark in the precinct completely dedicated to urban frivolity. I love that. While the Harbor Bridge and Opera House are these magnificent, very serious architectural forms, Luna Park is just an unapologetic celebration of humor, color, and pure fun right next door. It's this constant, enduring element of movement in the city. From that intricate 1930s Art Deco design to the screaming 72-kilometer-per-hour drops of the modern Big Dipper, it has weathered decades of change and salt air. It remains a living, breathing testament to generations of joy. Which leaves us with one final, exciting thought as we wrap up this explainer. When was the last time you let yourself completely suspend disbelief? When are you going to step through that giant smiling mouth and experience the rush for yourself? Keep exploring, and I'll catch you on the next deep dive.